Friends, I greet you. I am still with you, Sergey Puzanov, and as always I speak in fishing, namely feeder topics. Today I want to talk about the Elegance brand reels. I receive a lot of messages, both in my personal messages to both company representatives. Representative of the Elegance brand company in Russia, this is the company effing. She has her own website and online store. Where can I get more detailed information about the products? But as you can see, many thought this was not enough, and I was asked to do a detailed review, namely the series Coils, about feeder in 1 and in 2. What is the difference between them? Well, except for the price, of course, which people often see and do not understand. What is this difference? It is important to them whether they need it or not. Today we'll talk about exactly this. I will explain all these nuances in detail, and you will decide, you or one or two, which series suits you best. Visually, it seems that the coils are absolutely identical. But this is, as always, an unprofessional view. From a professional point of view, one can say that the cases are almost identical. That is, it is plastic. The spools are different. And one of the nuances is that they are mutually irreplaceable. Let's run through it, I guess. Technical indicators, which the manufacturer tells us. For some reason, most fans don't want to study this material on the site. Let's start with a more budget series. This is in 1. What is its budget? And why does it visually seem a little bigger? Weight 374 grams, although visually U1 definitely more than in 2, although they are the same size, 431,000. Weight 340 grams, number of bearings 5 and 1. Size 430, I already said. Wash basin 75 centimeters for amateurs. For non-sport fishing, this is the norm. 75-78 is a normal leisurely fishing. For size 431,000. Front clutch. Well, basically the same as in V2. Modern, reliable, high-quality reel. Middle class. That is, the positioning is already underway for a mid-range reel. Its price is about 4,500 retail. So you understand yourself. What about buying a coil of some kind for around 5,000? Professional or top class, but you won't succeed for sure, because the filling itself can't be worth it. There is so much money in some reels. One bearings cost somewhere around 5-6,000. The coil has, and a durable plastic case. In spools made of aluminum alloy. In 2, everything is absolutely the same. It seems like we're going smoothly everywhere so far. Here's where the nuance lies, which will be more interesting for all fans. Helps. This function for long casts and more or less confident ones. And accordingly, the exhaustion due to this is also not bad. This is a low-profile wide spool. It is right here that this size becomes visible. That is, the coil is a little longer and its version. 2 spring-loaded clips. What is it like after the blow happens? There is a small amount of depreciation if you throw it full force, of course. This depreciation will not help much if you throw something like muscle memory. Approximately the same distance, then this soft playing of the clip. What is in 2 and U1? It is useful type of handle attachment. This is a classic option in the segment of inexpensive reels. This is a pen, which is fixed on the backside with a screw, pressurized. You can move the handle to the left, to the right, of course, as is more convenient for you, left-handed, right-handed. With the very option of such fixation, it is not super reliable. Yes, this is a cool thing. We've been fishing like this our whole lives, until coils like in the V2 series appeared. This is when the handle is screwed into the main pair. It has much less play, and accordingly the less. There are no unnecessary parts involved in the mechanism, the better, accordingly. So in 2 here are definitely already favorites, compared to in 1. But I remind you, we are talking about the budget 431,000. Then we are told about that. What's so special about this in episode 2 and episode 1 is sweet. Line laying. Both sexes are of course good. This is in line with modern trends. But there is still a difference, which will probably be insignificant for amateurs. In episode 2, darling, done without any additional connections as opposed to the Aplomb series in 1. Here you can clearly see the cutter pin which fixes this arc. And the arc itself is just like dresses in. this ring, which already connected accordingly to the line guide. Of course, the less unnecessary parts there are in the mechanism, the stronger it is. That's why into the video is the priority again. The line is laid with a titanium coating. What in the first and in the second option are? Well, this is already the norm of things, absolutely even. Well, not in very budget reels, but in budget ones too. Friction brake with fine adjustment. What's here, what's there, although visually there is some difference in the lids. Unfortunately, I can't help you here. I can't say anything more, right to. We will discuss with people in the comments who are professionally engaged in that overhaul of coils and so on, because as far as use goes, I don't see any difference for myself. For one simple reason, I haven't used the friction clutch for about 8 years now. That is, it is more. In a sports version, I have this English format. I am always when catching white fish. I open the reverse gear and hold the arc with my finger. How much do I need? Because the friction in the feeder reels. This is such a system, which needs to be serviced very often. Keep an eye on her. That's where the bait goes. Sometimes too fast, sometimes too slowly. Then quickly, and fish most often lead to some grass. Hides under the eyebrow, and that's how it would be with such control. Quite difficult. How to work when fishing for carp. Yeah, here it's like again, some scary ones. Tragic things will not happen. Friction on average is considered to be probably closer. Too fast but very accurate. That in first, what's in version 2? At the time of operation, I didn't find anything supernatural there. As the manufacturer writes, neat, comfortable metal handle. Yes, it is in series 1 and 2. Unfortunately, not in 2, not in 1 but in knob. Rubberized, no bearing. Here we should add a bearing at least in series 2. I think that. Level by feel on. The exhaustion when landing the fish would be much higher. That's what I would do. I would probably recommend the manufacturer to the second series. Let it be a little more expensive, by some 500 rubles, but I would definitely add a bearing here. But for now, we have here an absolute match on 2 coils. Now comes an interesting point. This is what coils in 1 exist: 331,000, 431,000, and 531,000. All unlike series 2, where in great detail straight coils fit sizes 4,505 and 5,500, that is, 330 does not exist at all. That is, if you need a coil and a half, you will have to take a closer look at the series U1. What else does the manufacturer tell us here? Tells us the following: that the 330 reel is recommended. 4. Blanks light and light medium with feeders, that is, lead. 50 grams 4,500 is already a recommendation. 60-90 grams in. Recommendations for feeder A. The unit of class heavy 5,500 is 6-120. Well, I would probably do the same. I wasn't hopeful about the 120 feeders. Although in amateur fishing, without rushing, you can probably work on pumping, but I can imagine what 120 grams is. I present the coil. Here it is, just lying there. U1A. 5 and 5A 120 grams per AA? Well, I don't know. I wouldn't bother her that much. Probably somewhere around 90 grams. I can confidently guarantee that you can work with her. Well, the most delicious part remains. This is what you all love. Of course, the price. Price and quality are absolutely the same here. In series in 1, it is 4,588 retail price. Unlike running ahead from the series in 2, which can already be attributed to Pro, to 2 about coils. This is 7,101 for some reason. Well, let's count 7,100. It will be clearer. 1 ruble is not clear for what is needed to all coils. Respectively, there are additional spools on the fishing site, on which you can wind monofilament line. On the second spool, you will have a cord. Both spools are low profile and easy to wind. Most of the time, no batting will be needed. If you don't use, there on top there are some thin lines, which is unlikely. It's time to talk about V2. What does the manufacturer write? This is a modern, very reliable, high-class reel, developed with the help of professional fishing sportsmen, and for pro and advanced lovers. Reliable rocker mechanism. Has wide low-profile spool made of aluminum alloy AA. Screws in the whole handle that we talked about in the main pair. Hollow shower head respectively coating. From Titan Anti-system. Twist is against twister for cord And one more interesting point. Which I missed when I was discussing. Well, in fact, we are talking about B2 now. This is a plastic bobbin skirt. By the way, it's not in 1. What is this? This is 4. There is such a cool insert here inside, so that the cord doesn't get caught on the main rod. Well, this happens to amateurs, of course, and to professionals. Extremely rare, therefore. It's some kind of. The supplement is quite budget-friendly. It directly relates to that she is just super needed and important. I wouldn't become knob. I already said there is no bearing there, I said. And here it's already a little different. All weights here are in the series that is 4,505 and 5,500, I said. All 5,500 is also 80,120 because, anyway, no matter how you twist it, the case is the same size. You can see that it is not super there. There will be some traction compared to in 1. All 80,120 is 5 and 5 and 5 will be 70 a la 100 and 4,500 is 70 grams, unlike the previous one. What the manufacturer told us at 331,001 will be 50 grams. Well, in fact, 60- type in my opinion 80 is 4,500 in 1, and at 2 it's 70 grams. Again, the same situation in the middle. In 2 is designed for more professional or all semi-professional fishermen who accordingly understand what they have in their hands. Well, I already told you about the price. Additional spools, absolutely, is KV1, KV2 respectively. There's a price on the website, 7,100. In fact, it's about 231,000 rubles. What will this 231,000 rubles give us? Let's watch. Absolute difference, let's sum it up. The price in 1 is 4,588. We can say 4,600. And a coil of 2,700. What will we get for this money? Difference in bearings in 1.5 plus 1 in 2.6 plus 1. For a non-professional, this will not give anything. In general, evenly. The handle is screwed into the main pair in 1. This is a very cool and important plus. It's definitely worth paying for. The shower is more reliable for amateurs. Not very important for professionals. Yes, this is an important point that will help. With a large number of fishing competitions. Tempo catches, not a careful attitude, will help to preserve this mechanism itself as long as possible. The model range is different, I already said. All the spools are not interchangeable, I also said. In fact, there are no problems with this if there were no extra spools available. And are they under the bobbin skirt? Live with it as you wish. So do you need it or not? I think not. Lovers on reels. One most often uses fairly thick cords, which rarely get there. Hello, dog. Well, if anything, subscribe to Tobic. For professionals, it is not very important, although sometimes there are such moments that a thin cord gets in. For fans of Nav1, which uses thicker cords and lines, most often it is a rarity rather than some rule that the cords will suddenly hit the rod. Weight of all 2 coils, the difference is just insignificant. In the feeder, it is not very important because in 80% of cases the form is on the counter, waiting for a bite. You don't hold it like in a spinning rod. In essence, this is probably about 8 theses, which can be proud of in 2 compared to in 1. Judge for yourself. Do you need it? Is it important to you or not? In fact, I'm catching already more than 50 fishing trips, and in 1 and in 2 they stand in pairs. Ober works without zero TV, without any maintenance, without any preparation, straight out of the box. No complaints. I didn't notice any nuances. Well, you friends, make your choice accordingly. Follow the link in the description to the website of the company Fishin', which is the main supplier, and choose the coil that you need most. And with Sergey Puzanov with you in such a small technical review. Types of coils in 1. In episode 2, Profeeder. Elegance companies.